My goal was more than just the title of the world's greatest pastry chef. At the time, my son was ill. I needed the recipe for the medicine. And, yeah, that should have been public knowledge. Master's a dick. Anyways, I kind of assumed that Dover's son was the one who was ill because he was saying that Dover wanted the recipe. But maybe both their sons were ill? If not, what did Dover want it for? It's a good question, worth investigating. And what happened to your son? Is he dead? Did he die from that illness? Can you die from it? Your son was ill? Tell me more about that. To protect my son's honor, I can say no more. What? What, did he kill himself? Judging by the worried look on his face, I must have struck a nerve. Next, I need him to tell me more about his son's illness. I cry every time. Ugh, this is it. This will be my final move of the game. With this, I get checkmate. What's the name of the illness? What was your son like? Did the recipe book have the only cure? What was the name of your son's illness? Sir Prosecutor, how insensitive of you. My son was seriously ill. I will not be disclosing this with the likes of you. It seems I don't have enough clues. Okay. It's almost never the first one, is it? Maybe I should try another line of attack. I must read my opponent's reactions and emotions, and strike with the right words. Recipe book of the only cure? Did the angel's recipe have the only cure? Yes, though the medicine is being sold everywhere now. Yeah, now that Master's parents got it back and were able to put it on the market as they should have in the first place. Seriously, fuck Master! At the time, the recipe book was my one and only option. That's why I continued making my desserts, without joining the others for tea time. So you weren't interested in what Mr. Master was making. Wait, you did join them for tea time, though. You were there, right? Or maybe that's, like, gonna be his alibi or something? I don't know. You weren't interested in what Mr. Master was making. You sure seemed confident in your chances of winning. Unless you did know what he was making. I couldn't be bothered to pay attention to the other contestants' desserts. Oh? You had interest in Mr. Master's work. You just said earlier that you study Mr. Master's works. In addition, if your goal was to win the contest in order to get the medicine formula, you must have been curious about the other contestants' entries as well. Bitch. I'm pretty sure it's the first time we had to aggro him when he wasn't, meditating. It's changing it up on me. Nymph! There was time to sample the other desserts during the contest, but none of their entries had any flavor. So I didn't want to eat any of it. Didn't have any flavor, so you had the illness then as well. In fact, you had a very severe case of the illness. Wait, but that's the case, then shouldn't you suck balls at flavor? What? How, wouldn't you be the one that's good at design and bad at flavor? I would think so. I suspect I may have been a bit nervous as well. So everything he ate tasted flavorless. This could be a useful clue. What was the name of the illness? What was the name of your son's illness? It might be genetic. Nymph, Sir Prosecutor, how insensitive of you. My son was seriously ill. I will not be discussing next with you. Seems I don't have enough. Oh, seriously? Still? Alright. I guess it has to be what was your son like. What kind of person was your son? Ah, my boy, he loved the desserts I made. Did you enter the contest solely for your son? Sir Prosecutor, you could never understand the feeling a father has for his son. Well, I don't have one myself, but I do have a father. Everyone in the world has a father, pretty much. As far as I'm aware. I mean, maybe they're not alive, or maybe they don't know where they are, but they must have some father. I wanted nothing more than to cure my boy's illness. You sure it was your boy's illness, not your own illness? I doubt that. I will reveal all your lies for what they are. Oh, no? Are you sure? But because he was the one with the flavorless... whatever. Nins, is that all? You bore me with your empty threats, blah blah blah. God, I need to be careful not to make these poop statements. I must read my opponent's reactions and emotions and poop. I feel like that made sense. So I'm like... I think my reasoning made sense there, but whatever. Man, that laughing animation on him looks so different than anything that he was like it when we saw him in the flashback sense. I wanted nothing more. Wait and see. Until the semi-finals, my son would always drop by the contest venue to play. Is that so? Wouldn't you get in your way? I doubt you had time to care for your son while you were challenging Mr. Master. That may be so, but I wanted to grant my son's wish. He said he always wanted to be the first to eat my desserts. Oh, really? Then maybe your son didn't have that kind of illness, because he's supposed to be missing now, right? But maybe he's not missing. Maybe he's dead. Maybe his illness, didn't quite have anything to do with, what was it, the Angel's Recipe thing, or at least not the thing we're talking about. Maybe it was, something else that was, like, life-threatening. In which case, fuck you, Master Doubly. Always wanted to be the first to eat my desserts. Your son sounds pretty healthy to me. About your son. If he was so sick, wouldn't it be difficult for him to come and play with you? No. My son's illness. It wasn't life-threatening. Oh, okay. Well, alright, then I guess it probably was the thing with the taste. Then maybe it was genetic? I'm not sure. That might serve as a clue. Alright, then what was the name of the illness? What was the name of your son's illness? And if you wanted to be the first one to taste them, then maybe you wouldn't have given your food to anyone else? But no, that doesn't make sense. I don't know. And if it was flavorless, then you couldn't have tasted it yourself. So, meh. Nymph, Sir Prosecutor, how insensitive of you! My son was seriously ill, I will not be discussing this. Looks like that clue will come in handy. The illness wasn't life-threatening. You told me your son's illness was not life-threatening, but he still committed suicide, am I right? I'm guessing. Is there really a need to be so secretive about it? It was enough to keep him from living a normal life. That must have been difficult for your son. I tried everything I could to cure his illness. It wasn't fair for the poor boy. No, it wasn't. There should have been a public antidote available, instead of someone keeping it to themselves like a fucking dick. I'll never get over that. He could never taste the desserts he loved so much. Was it a taste disorder? Was he too fat? I love that. Was he too fat? The Angel's Recipe contains a cure for a certain illness. A remedy that could also cure Mr. Master's taste disorder. What? He had it too? Indeed. He had it too, I see. So your son suffers from a taste disorder? No! I didn't think you'd figure it out so quickly. I'm guessing it's suffered, not suffers, because he's probably dead. Like, he's been missing at the very least, right? In order to cure your son's taste disorder, you needed the recipe book, and I'm guessing you have the taste disorder too, since you said everything's flavorless, right? Wasn't that your true goal? No, it's as you say. Based on how he's acted up till now, it appears he's still hiding something. Looks like that clue will come in handy. Didn't you also have the illness? Yeah, that's right. Being able to taste anything, regardless of what you eat. Such a bitter illness. Yeah, he has it too. Possibly even worse than his son. That reminds me, didn't you say something similar earlier? None of their entries had any flavor, so I didn't feel like eating any of it. Honestly, that's impressive. If he couldn't taste a thing and yet became such a good at making good tasting things, that's hard. There are a lot of cooks that end up sucking until they start tasting their own shit. Literally, some of it tastes like shit until they start tasting it. Perhaps your son wasn't the only one who suffered from a taste disorder. Yup. It's hard to imagine being a successful pastry chef without a sense of taste. Perhaps what you really wanted was to cure yourself. No. That's completely ludicrous. 18 years ago, I made those desserts all by myself. Did your son help you? Because Dover would have helped you with apparently helped you with the design, but maybe your son helped you with, the flavor. In which case, you're, like, not at all a good pastry chef. At least not back then. Maybe you've learned since then, but man. You must have worked, didn't you collaborate with Mr. Dover? It seems you've caught yourself in a contradiction. I thought I was going to say something about his son, but I didn't see the son, so I just clicked, because I didn't want to waste time. Didn't you cooperate with Isaac Dover in the contest? You can hardly say you made the desserts all by yourself. Maybe it's the reverse. Maybe he made the design and Dover made the taste. But wait, if that's the case... Maybe... What if Gustavia is Pierre Hoquet? Yeah! Holy shit! What if Gustavia is Pierre Hoquet and Dover isn't? And then if that's the case... Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that until recently, but yeah, that's something we've only been assuming. We never knew that to be fact. Yeah, what if Gustavia was Pierre Hoquet? That would make more sense if he was in charge of the design and Dover was in charge of the taste. That would also make sense how he would hide it in the ice sculpture. Because he would understand the design of it. Yeah. That makes sense. He's fucking Pierre Hoquet, isn't he? Interesting. That's neat. Okay. You must take great pride in your ability as a pastry chef. But to betray your pride and cooperate with another contestant. You did it all to cure your own disease. Well done, Sir Prosecutor. So the question is, what happened to his son? We still don't know. It's as you say. The one with the taste disorder is not my son. It's you. Okay, so what happened to your son then? Where? Because he's, like, apparently he went missing, right? What happened? It is I. No one knew. I've kept it a secret for 18 years. It doesn't matter how long a secret is kept. If you lie before me, I will expose it. Dane Gustavia and Isaac Dover are both trying to obtain the recipes for the new medicines. Gustavia to cure his condition, and Dover most likely to sell the recipe book for money. I suppose that's possible. Okay. For this reason, they entered the contest as a collaborative effort. Maybe Dover was poor. I suppose. If he was Pierre Hoquet, he wouldn't be poor. But if Gustavia is Pierre Hoquet, then there's definitely a possibility Dover was poor. And with that, checkmate. All the way up, baby.